Greetings, Bruce Locklear here with another message this week. It's homecoming week, which explains our get-up, but you'll understand the connection in just a little bit. I have to start out with a story. I had the opportunity to spend a lot of time in the hallways yesterday, and the thing I was struck with, and I'm going to make a generalization, so forgive me in advance, but just walking around listening to kids and teachers and just the interaction with everyone, there was such a joy that I felt in the building, and that really stuck with me all day yesterday and into the evening. And I just pray for that continued sense of peace and happiness in this building and sense of direction. And speaking of sense of direction, one of the things that we're going to do over the next 3 weeks is talk about leadership. And today I want to spend some time talking about the myth of leadership. Today I have on my Captain America shirt. I grew up in the Deep South, and my parents were poor as dirt. And one of the things that I learned to hang on to as a child growing up was the idea of superheroes. I mean, Superman, Batman, Robin, Flash, those were the superheroes that got me through life. And at the age of 6 or 7, I honestly thought I was Superman. And I believed with all of my heart that I could fly. And so growing up, my parents, we had a three-room house, and it's called a shotgun house. And that meant that you could stand in the front door and shoot a shotgun, and the shells would go straight out the back door of that three-room house. But that first room was the bedroom. And my parents had a bed against the far wall, and my younger brother and I had bunk beds. And so I was convinced I could fly. So I crawl up on the top bunk, and I jump. Gravity hit. I fell short of the bed, hit my head. It was nasty, and it was disappointing. But it was my first realization that I would never be a superhero. And hanging on to that created a sense of leadership in my mind that just wasn't real. In this first segment in leadership today, we're going to talk about the myth of leadership. The first myth in leadership is this whole idea of positional leader. Because you have a title, it doesn't make you necessarily a great leader. I've been fortunate to work with some good leaders with big titles, but the inverse of that is also true. I've worked with people who have these titles, but the leadership skill and capacity just never connected. The second myth of leadership is the idea of responsibility. The idea that the leader has to assume all of this responsibility to make this organization run and has to be accountable to everyone all the time. When real leadership occurs, that idea of leadership is shared with other people. And the third thing is, not everyone can be a leader, is the final myth that I will talk about today. And that is probably the most erroneous myth. One of the things that we're going to do today is interview some leaders in our school that make a difference in the daily lives of our students. And it's not because they have a degree, it's not because they drive a fancy car, it's not because of anything, but their ability to serve and their ability to love on and care for our students. At the end of the day, leadership is influence. And the two people that I'm going to interview in just a little bit have tremendous influence in the life of our school. Welcome back. Again, we are talking about the myth of leadership, and we're defining leadership as influence. And I have two gentlemen today that I want to allow introduce themselves, and we're going to talk a little bit about their role in leadership in our school.
My name is Orlando Harrypal. I'm part of the custodial team here.
And I am Russ Stuckel, and I'm also part of the custodial team.
We're very happy to have Orlando and Russ with us today, and I just want to start with the first question. As you think about your role as a leader or a person of influence in this building, how does that work and how does that fit in your day?
I think we all have an opportunity here to be leaders in this organization and to help these kids to develop into the best they can be, to be leaders in not just our community but in the nation.
Yeah, that's right. Russ, how about you?
I just like getting to know the kids and find out what they're about. And if you start with that, You can build on that, the relationship with them, and learn from them where they're going and what we can bring and help them move along in the future.
Another part of leadership is building that connection and that relationship. And one of the greatest parts of my day is just standing and watching y'all welcome our students and parents into this building. Can you talk about how that started and what that means to you and how that creates that relationship with our students? The fist bump in the morning.
Well, this is Russ's idea, actually. He comes in early in the morning, many days before his shift starts, and he just have fun. He says, this is what drives me. For me, I just like to, yes, I do some of it out there, but my part more is just hanging out with the kids at lunch.
Okay.
Sitting down with lunch and just talk to them and, checking in. There are some tough questions too. How's the walk? How's homework going? How are the grades? So I think it's an opportunity we have to help them along.
How about the fist bump, Russ?
The fist bump kind of started as just going out and greeting everyone. I had some problems with my hands, so I couldn't give a high five. So I started with a fist bump, and kind of makes an extra connection with the kids. I just started joking around with them and with the parents, making them come in, have a smile, try to put a smile on everyone's face, and just start their day off right. They might start their day off in a bad mood, or you don't know what's going on in their mind, but I want to just like to change that and get them in a good mood, have the young kids not cry when they come to school and look forward to coming to school. I know some kids, the parents have told me, is Guy or that Mr. Taco or Mr. Stucco going to be there? They look for me at the door, and they come running down the sidewalk with their fist out ready for a fist bump. So I like to make it so they enjoy coming to school, and hopefully I do that with the older ones, even though they sometimes roll their eyes at me, but they still enjoy, I think, seeing me out there.
Leadership is all about influence, and these two gentlemen make a daily difference in the lives of our students. Next week, we're going to talk about leadership as influence. Thank you and have a good week.